Here's a quick testimony based on the previous video entitled Questions and Questioning. As I stated, I have some well-meaning friends who, whenever, they believed they were giving godly counsel, and I discerned that they were operating in fear. Not all of them. One in particular was operating in godly counsel, and many of the other well-meaning friends that I have spoken with were operating in fear of me repeating the same mistake that I did in previous relationships in choosing what woman I was going to settle down with. So it can be viewed as concern, but I discerned fear. Because I challenged their questions. They were questioning me as if I needed to give them an answer, as if they were the authority who knew all the facts. And when I discerned that they were not operating in true concern, but they were operating in fear, I began to question them. And the questions that I asked them, they refused to answer. So in Matthew 16:23 through 27, I believe, the previous video, when the religious leaders, the chief priests and elders, questioned Jesus' authority, my well-meaning friends were questioning, or they refuse to acknowledge the sovereignty of God, the permissive will of God that has allowed me to, just like Adam was presented creatures that were not suitable for him, in me finding a wife, God also presented to me women that would help build my discernment in knowing who was suitable and who was not suitable. And many of the ones who came before my wife that I have now was not suitable. That doesn't mean they were all evil. That just means that they were not the one for me. And without those relationships, I would still be ignorant of some things. I would still be devoid of some things. There were some things I could only learn by suffering. Broken relationships, toxic relationships that I chose to enter in. So the scripture that gave me peace was Jesus learned obedience through the things he suffered. So as the Son of God, he didn't have to suffer. But as the Son of Man, the requirement for obedience, learning obedience, was suffering. So as it applies to you and I, there's some things that you don't learn until after you suffered a while. That's a part of the process. In order for you to get to the place you need to be, there's some things you're going to suffer. So it's one thing to be concerned. Peter was concerned about Jesus being crucified, and Peter tried to rebuke Jesus. He said, "Far be it from him that you will go to the cross and suffer." Jesus turned to Peter and said, "Satan, get thee behind me. You speak not the things of God, but the things of man." I believe that's the same passage. If I'm wrong, then again, charge my head, not my heart. But the point being, suffering is a part of the process. So suffering broken relationships, toxic relationships, until you're able to receive the one God has for you, is part of the sovereign will of God. It's part of the permissive will of God. And so I got tired of trying to explain what only God to reveal to my well-meaning friends. And a few of those well-meaning friends have decided to turn their back and walk away as if we're no longer friends. Cool. But God will deal with you where you are, as God deals with me where I'm at. And so the walk away is, I'm going to hold on to God as I encourage other people to hold on to God's unchanging hand. And for those who refuse to come to the light to see if their questions or questioning is really from God, as in true concern, or are you questioning from a standpoint of unbelief, where if you're questioning, that means you don't believe what I have to tell you anyway. And that's probably why you're in the condition that you're in today. So when I flipped it and pointed and showed that mirror back to those well-meaning friends, ooh, they hated that I did that. They were comfortable with me answering their questions, but now when I ask them questions from a sincere place of trying to discern whether you were really concerned about me, or are you? Can I expose the fact that you, my well-meaning friend, are operating in fear, which God did not give me nor you the spirit of fear, but He gave us the power, love, and a sound mind. So that's why I can speak wholeheartedly and boldly without answering, without feeling pressured about trying to explain something to you that only God can reveal. So I thank God that I had to go through that so I could see the true intent of some well-meaning friends who to this day have yet to answer my straight, direct, honest questions that would have revealed whether they were truly in fear or truly concerned. All right, so take it for what it's worth. If the shoe fits, wear it. And not only wear it, but buy every color in your shoe size. I say this in love. All right, God bless you. Stay tuned. And always remember, Jesus Christ is Lord. That means He's in control and not you. All right, stay tuned. I'll see you guys real soon. All right, take care. God bless.